We're about to go on a journey of discovery, an adventure within. In order to embark on this exploration through contemplation and meditation, you must first find a position whereby your body will be relaxed and at peace for quite some time. Perhaps if you're used to meditation practice, there's an asana or posture which you tend to prefer. If this is so, then now's the time. If, however, you prefer to lie and relax, make sure you do so in an environment and a way which ensures that you will be awake, aware, and able to tune in to my words. Whichever posture you choose, adopt it with a sense of tranquility. Your body will be at rest while your mind rises to great heights. Perhaps you've already started to notice that your muscles are relaxing. Just the act of being still is bringing that relaxation. Go with the flow and amplify that. Really take a few moments just to tell all your muscles to relax. Focus fully on the sound of my voice, and as you do, you may find that your breathing has naturally slowed. Once again, allow this process to work for you. Just let it continue. As your body relaxes and your breathing slows, you enter into the right state for contemplation, for meditation. Now, it's time to start to paint an image in your mind's eye, to visualize or imagine as clearly as possible, to connect with the words I say and the events as they unfold. And as you do, press firmly in your heart any words of power or resonance, any sensations which you experience or insights which are granted to you. I'd like you to start by imagining a beautiful maiden dressed all in white, walking through the countryside. Her hair red and her countenance kind. As she walks barefoot along the pathways or the grassy meadow-like areas, we can feel something special, something wonderful about her presence. It's a sense of beauty, a sense of goodness, and a sense of truth all together. It's as if she has a blessed aura. And indeed, we can see the effects of this powerful brilliance that shines invisibly forth from her. As she walks past the trees, it's as if there's a wind that blows them just towards her. As she goes past flowers, they unfold just a little bit more. It's as if the plants themselves grow in her presence. The animals become calm near her, and just like to observe and be close as she walks. I'd like you to really tune into that feeling of invisible kindness, of goodness, of blessing that comes with her presence. Persephone is the daughter of Zeus and Demeter. Zeus being the original force of creation, the first spark, the god of human civilization and advancement. Demeter being the goddess of nature, of fertility, of the crops. As we see her in our mind's eye, sit at the foot of a tree, and we see that tree grow, become more healthy, take in more nutrition from its roots and its leaves. As we see her radiance bring a smile to the whole of the world around her, we could imagine how the daughter of the original force of creation and of human advancement and natural fertility could combine both qualities into something wonderful. Now, Persephone was admired by many, but one other god kept his focus on her more than anyone else. Hades, the god of the underworld, he'd seen her and fallen in love. Now he felt unable to talk to her, to woo her, or to ask permission to date her. So his mind moved to more nefarious, underhanded means to gain her as his wife. He knew that she loved things of natural beauty, and thus he gained the most beautiful narcissus flower, a flower itself known for its ability to fascinate, born the same way and resonant and powerful. He placed this flower in an area where she was wont to walk every day. Below, he set a magical trap and waited in his chariot, so that when poor Persephone saw the flower and walked to pick it, a giant hole opened up and swallowed her underground, and he, with his chariot and undead steeds, snatched her and took her down below. Trapped in the world of the dead, Persephone was initially distraught. And at the same time, the world started to miss her. With such a strong energy gone, and with Demeter, Persephone's mum, in mourning, searching to look for her daughter, a terrible winter came across the whole of the planet. No plants grew, no animals bred. There were no leaves on the trees, roots in the soil, or fruits. And as the whole of the land turned to waste, below that soil, Hades and Persephone started to get to know each other. Although he had wronged her greatly, there was some mysterious resonance between them, and both started to feel affection towards each other. Demeter, however, had not given up her quest, and during her wandering day and night, she met the goddess Hecate, who knew all things magical and could see forces hidden. As they met at a crossroads, Hecate could sense Demeter's anguish, and using her skills, she found the piece of advice that was needed. She explained to Demeter that although she wasn't aware what had happened to Persephone, she was able to advise where she should go next. Helios, the god of the sun, she explained, saw everything that happened, and she felt convinced that if Demeter was to wait till sunrise and then to inquire from him, she would get the answer that she sought. These instructions were followed, and as the beautiful golden rays of Helios's chariot shone just above the horizon, the goddess of fertility asked her question. With no leaves to receive the blessings, this stood out, and the god of the sun explained exactly what he had seen. Demeter was furious, and thus she went directly to Zeus, to Persephone's father, in order to ask for her daughter's return. Zeus himself may have sensed that there was more to the situation, and indeed wanted to keep peace with the underworld, so he sent Mercury, or Hermes, as a negotiator in order to find a solution. Hermes managed to strike a deal that both sides would agree to, but neither were absolutely happy about. He had managed to get the impression that, in truth, though Persephone had been kidnapped, her current presence in Hades was partly complicit. She had found a bond there and knew there was a hidden purpose or calling. It was agreed that Persephone would spend half the year in the underworld and the other half up on the surface. And this agreement was sealed with a pomegranate which had been grown in the underworld. By eating this, Persephone became linked and thus would need to return. And it is for this reason that we have our seasons. When Persephone leaves us, autumn occurs. All the leaves of the trees, all the life and energy starts to withdraw. And then through winter, underground, she fulfills her new duties as queen of the underworld. Then, when she returns, with her light comes spring, and during her full stay here, summer. Now this story is well known, and there are many similar myths to it. But could there be something which is hidden that few notice? I want you to tune back into that feeling when we first met Persephone. The radiance that brings blessings to everything around. That sense of goodness, of beauty and of truth. The way that just by being there, she uplifts, heals, restores, regenerates, blesses and teaches everything around her. Imagine what this presence would do in the world of the dead, in hell or Hades. Just imagine how she would affect what was around her. Somewhere in this whole situation, a spark of pure good got into the place below. Now, if you look around you, look how life grows so easily from the things which have passed away. How waste builds growth in plants. How a seed must go underground in order to be able to grow to its full potential. I'd like you to imagine what could happen. We know that Hades himself is the son of Kronos, the son of time. Time changes, transforms all its children. Will he be there forever? Will she ascend to the throne and rule the underworld just herself? Will he be transformed by her presence? Imagine those damned, those confused who reside there, how they will come back to life, how they will be transformed in her presence. I'd like you to visualize this clearly. Imagine that sense of abundance, that sense of blessing, rising up from underneath, rising and shining throughout the whole of this world. Imagine if Persephone was to return triumphant. Picture a society where there was no lack, where everyone had enough energy, enough fuel, enough food, enough love, enough inspiration, enough time. Imagine this world. Spread that feeling you got from Persephone thinly across your vision. And now I'd like you to move your focus to your breathing again. Yes, use that breathing to recenter your mind. Because it's time to draw a new scene, to imagine a different place and time. A story from the Hermetic tradition, which may have a connection, which will bring resonance and inspiration. Imagine just at the dawn of existence, a beautiful light shines in the darkness. Imagine this original light, just like those first rays we imagined previously as the sun rose. But imagine this as a white light, the first spark of consciousness that formed existence. Imagine that this bright light shines throughout the whole of the universe, and as it expands, the universe expands. As it condenses in different areas, everything becomes formed. Now imagine now. Picture the circumstance now. Around us, all material things. But hidden beneath, this original light still shines. Now there is a story which takes us to the beginning of humankind. The Hermeticists say that there was once a time when the earth was only populated by plants and animals of all types, but humans were yet to be seen. The original light we are thinking of, it looked through the veil, the thin veil that divides matter from mind, consciousness from solid. And it gazed upon the globe, upon the earth, seeing the waters, seeing the detail touching upon the soil. And it is said that somehow it saw a reflection of itself, maybe in the waters, maybe just in the sense that all matter was formed of consciousness. And thus when the consciousness returned, it saw itself. But the original thought, the higher consciousness, fell in love with nature and with the earth. And She, feeling this sense of love, wrapped herself around him. And thus the first humans were formed, divine and immortal of mind, but limited and temporary of body. I'd like you to tune into that sense of the original mind. Imagine that resonance shining both at the beginning, the spark of creation of all things, that first light we touched upon. Just tune into how that felt. And now imagine it underlying all things, glowing and pulsing, and every tree, every plant, everything has some degree of this, just underlying. Feel that resonance. And now finally, move to you, where this spark formed and became enclosed in matter. Feel this spark of pure beauty, pure goodness, and pure truth in you. Think of the love of truth, the wish to see clearly, to understand things as they really are. Imagine your good intentions. How much you long to see everything find its right harmony. Connect with the sense of beauty you see around you and within you. Now, during this process, you may have felt a certain sensation or a link. Work with that, amplify that, go with that. Now, the Hermeticists say that this process has left some people unaware of their true nature. The matter made some more forgetful than others. And we can see in the world those that believe the belongings around them are them or mean something about them. They believe they are something they own, forgetting they stay here means that they are temporary, and thus they are just a custodian of that object, but they are not that object. There are those that believe their position within human society, or the thoughts that those people have about them, are them. But of course this is not true either. Perhaps there are some who, through confusion, believe that their bodies are them, mistaking the vessel for the actual. Let go of any sense that you are what you own. This is not you. Let go of any sense that you are what others think. This is certainly not you. Let go of your roles, your status. These are all things you do. Let go of any sense that your true nature can be viewed externally, and touch upon that original. You are the spark of pure beauty, kindness, and harmony, which has chosen to take on this form. You are here to express this goodness, to be the truth and to know the truth. I'd like you to imagine, just as we imagined before, what would it be like if this divine consciousness, this higher consciousness, fully expressed itself in every word, thought, and action? Imagine how it would purify each of your intentions. If you were making sure that all things you did were true, were good intentioned, and brought the best outcomes and beautiful experiences to the world. Imagine yourself fully engaged with every act, letting that light, that higher light, shine through. Would there be parts of yourself transformed, reincorporated, harmonized through this? Amplify this. Imagine that by having a life centered from this higher self, you attract the right people. You live in the right place. You undertake the right work and play. I'd like you to imagine this true sense of happiness, whereby resonance and empowerment shines forth. You are that blessing. You are the light brought to bring the evolution and the raising of consciousness. Skillfulness, awareness, a full expression of your ability as you learn in every moment. Just take a few moments to feel this. Remember how a seed planted within grows and bears fruit. Plant these words within your heart so that you can call upon them when needed. Know that your intention has been set, and you can come back to this meditation as often as you wish. And now it's time to move your focus back to your breath. This breath will remind you of your location, remind you of your body. You probably notice your breathing starting to go a bit more back to normal. Work with this. Start to move slightly and let the body wake up. You've also probably noticed there is a sense that it's time to focus on other things and to leave the blessing that is this contemplation to do its work. Take a deep breath, and in your own time, open your eyes. This concludes your contemplation. May this be a gift to you and to the world.